Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the ingenious structural designs and, frankly, the kind of gritty logistical realities hidden inside the world's tallest building. You know, when you look at the Dubai skyline, there's obviously one structure that just instantly commands your attention. But the story of how it was actually built and how it manages to function day to day, it's honestly even more mind-blowing than its actual height.
And speaking of that height, the Burj Khalifa stands at a staggering 828 meters architecturally. With its tip, it reaches 829.8 meters. To put that into perspective, this mega-tall marvel is so colossal that you can spot the spire from 59 miles away, whether you're way out in the desert or deep out at sea. I mean, it's literally like trying to spot the Statue of Liberty from a completely different distant city.
So that brings us to a really massive engineering puzzle. How on earth do you keep an 828-meter building from just blowing over? A needle that tall faces absolutely unimaginable forces from extreme desert winds. You can't just stack concrete that high and hope for the best, right? You have to completely rethink how a building interacts with the atmosphere itself. Section 1. Designing for record heights. When construction kicked off back in 2004, the developers of this $1.5 billion, yes, billion with a B, dollar project knew they were pushing human engineering to the absolute limit. But here's a crazy fact. They kept the final intended height of the building a heavily guarded, completely confidential secret during construction. Why? Well, simply to ensure no competing developers could suddenly alter their own blueprints and outdo them. They wanted an absolute guarantee that they would hold the record.
Section 2. The Spider Lily's Secret.
To conquer those incredible wind forces at such record-breaking heights, the architectural firm behind the project, Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, didn't just look at the math. They actually turned to a brilliant biological inspiration native to the region. They modeled the building's Y-shaped tripartite floor plan directly after the Hymenocallis flower, which is also known as the spider lily. It branches out from a strong central core, exactly like the flower's long radiating petals. Now, the crucial thing to take away here is that this spiraling Y shape isn't just a pretty architectural choice, it is a strict structural necessity. It creates this buttressed core for immense stability. The spiraling design actually physically confuses and disrupts extreme wind forces, preventing them from organizing into dangerous vortices that could sway the tower. Oh, and as a nice little bonus, this shape maximizes the outward panoramic views, giving pretty much every Armani hotel guest, office worker, and resident a really spectacular vantage point. Section 3. Materials with a history. You know, building a vertical city of over 163 floors required more than 12,000 workers on site at its peak, and roughly 22 million man-hours to assemble. And the material quantities? Just absolutely mind-boggling. We're talking about 330,000 cubic meters of concrete. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the weight of 100,000 elephants. The aluminum used is equivalent to 5 massive Airbus A380 aircraft. And get this, if you took all the steel rebar inside the structure and laid it end to end, it would literally stretch a quarter of the way around the entire Earth. But here is a super fascinating secret hidden within that massive steel framework. A portion of the structural steel keeping this modern Dubai monument standing was actually reclaimed from history. It came directly from the demolished Palace of the Republic over in East Berlin, which was the former East German Parliament building. So it's just this incredible merging of 20th century history and 21st century ambition. Section 4. The Logistics of Megatall. Because think about it, once the building is up, you actually have to run the thing. And operating the tallest building in the world comes with some pretty severe contrasts. On the one hand, you've got this amazing high-tech sustainability. The building's air conditioning system collects an incredible 15 million gallons of condensate water every single year, which is then reused to water the landscaping and even supply the famous Dubai fountain. But right next to that, we have a very low-tech reality. Because of some cost-saving measures during the 2008 financial crisis, the building actually lacks a direct city sewage connection. Yeah, you heard that right. So about 15 tons of raw waste has to be collected and physically trucked out of the facility every single day. It is a shocking operational reality just hidden in plain sight. Section 5. The Ultimate Cleaning Challenge. Maintaining a skyscraper that's wrapped entirely in glass while it's baking in a dusty desert environment, well, that's a pretty terrifying operational hurdle. 24,348. That represents the exact amount of glass panels covering the exterior of the Burj Khalifa. So, how do you even clean that? It requires a continuous cleaning cycle that takes literally months just to finish one single rotation. Teams of incredibly brave workers have to scale the lower levels, while specialized machines are deployed for those dizzying upper sections. And the craziest part? By the time they finish washing the very last of those 24,000 windows, it's already time to start right back at the beginning. Talk about a never-ending chore, right?
Section 6. Chasing the double sunset.
The extreme altitude of the observation decks creates an experience that, well, it almost literally manipulates time. The sheer height allows you to do something absolutely magical. You can watch the sunset twice in one evening, which, by the way, makes the late afternoon the absolute best time to book your visit. Here's how it works. You start by watching the sun dip below the horizon from the ground or the lower floors. Then you jump into some of the world's fastest double-deck elevators, rocketing upwards at 10 meters per second. Because you're traveling so high, so fast, up to the highest outdoor observation deck in the world on floors 124 and 125, you actually outpace the Earth's rotation. Just enough to see the sun peak right back over the horizon and set a second time. No way, right? It's mind-blowing. So we've seen exactly how Dubai conquered the sky through those brilliant Y-shaped biological designs, the historic reclaimed materials from Berlin, and the immense, kind of crazy daily logistics. The Burj Khalifa truly stands as a testament to what is possible. And honestly, it leaves us with this final, really provocative question. If we can build an 828-meter vertical city that manipulates the wind and literally outruns the sunset, where does human ambition drive us to build next? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a whole new perspective on this megatall marvel.